Senator Dole, 2 years ago, when you were running for the Senate, you said that the pardon was prematurely granted and that it was a mistake. You approve of it now, and if the issue was fair game in your 1974 campaign in Kansas, why is it not an appropriate topic now?
It is an appropriate topic, I guess, but it's not a very good issue any more than the war in Vietnam would be, or World War II, or World War I, or the war in Korea. All Democrat wars, all in this century. I figured up the other day, if we added up the killed and wounded in Democrat wars in this century, it'd be about 1.6 million Americans, enough to fill the city of Detroit.
Hey, Senator, Mr. Dole. Good luck next week.
What? Bob Dole doesn't need this.
The stakes this election? Keeping more of what you earn. That's what Bob Dole's tax cut plan is all about. The Dole plan starts with a 15% tax cut for working Americans. That's $1,600 more for the typical family. A $500 per child tax credit. Education and job training incentives. Replacing the IRS with a fairer and simpler tax system. And a balanced budget amendment to stop wasteful spending. The Dole plan, helping you keep more of what you earn.
Well, let's just start off, Senator. How are you these days? Tell me what you're up to and what a typical day is like for you these days here in Washington.
Well, I still come to work every day at Alston & Bird Law Firm, which is a firm of 850 lawyers, so it's big enough to do about anything. And I try to get to work every day. I've had a couple of health problems. Macular degeneration in my left eye and most of the loss in the right eye, so I can't see beyond 10 feet. So that kind of slows me down because I can't read my mail or I can't read the paper.
Oh, gosh.
But I can hear television. So.
Well, this is perfect then.
Perfect.
Well, I know you've got a momentous birthday coming up in just a few weeks. You're going to turn 90. What do you think about that as you look up on that number coming your way?
Well, I used to think anybody past 60 was old, but now the average, I think, age for men is in the 70s. So I'm over the hurdle a little bit, but you face the facts and make the most of them. And I kind of look forward to it. We're going to have a lot of people, a lot of fun. And I won't have another one probably for 10 years.
You plan to be 100? You want to stick around for that one too?
Well, who knows?
What you say you have some big plans. What are your big plans for your big day?
Well, we're probably going to have several hundred people at a birthday party or reception. It'll be in the U.S. Capitol, and there'll be people mostly in the area because they don't want people traveling in there for that. This costs a lot of money, and they can send me a birthday card. But anyway, I've had a great life, and Kansas, the people have been good to me, and I want to say thank you to them for voting for me and for supporting me in other ways. So I think all in all, I'm in good shape.
That's good to hear. You've got so much that ties back to your roots in Kansas and the town of Russell, Kansas, right? What do you think, growing up in a town like Russell, Kansas, what did you take from that prepared you for your life of service to our country?
I think initially it had a great impact, but in my congressional services, the years, after 3 or 4 years, you begin to realize that there are people in other parts of the country urban areas and other areas that weren't quite like small town Russell, Kansas, and they had problems too. So you kind of broaden your outlook on what's good and what's bad. But Russell is still home. I have a house there. I want to go there. In fact, what I wanted to do is to take a kind of a tour of Kansas and have little coffee clatches and just thank the people. I mean, be open to the public, not trying to raise any money, just to say thank you again to the people who sent me here for 30 years.
And so, after 35 years in the service of my country, I returned to Russell, Kansas, to the place I call home.
I've known Bob Dole ever since he was born.
To the small town that nurtured and defined me, to my friends and my family.
This is me, and this is Bob.
To that very special place.
There's only one Bob Dole.
Where they always called me by my first name.
Bob!
Max, how you doing? Good to see you. Great lunch. Barb, take a check.
Of course, Bob. Can I see some ID? Driver's license, passport, military ID, voter's registration?
Maybe it's time you tried the Visa check card. It automatically deducts from your checking account everywhere Visa's accepted. No questions asked, no ID needed.
I just can't win.
The Visa check card. It works like a check, only better.
Hi, I'm Bob Dole, and I've always spoken to you frankly, no matter what the subject. That's why I'm eager to tell you about a product that put real joy back in my life. It helps me feel youthful, vigorous, and most importantly, vital again. What is this amazing product? My faithful little blue friend, an ice-cold Pepsi-Cola.
Are the revitalizing effects of Pepsi-Cola right for you? Check with your local convenience store counter clerk and start living again.
I feel like a kid again.
The joy of Pepsi.
Hi, Tom.
Two Kansas senators are leading the charge to give a decorated military hero and a Kansas native a promotion. In January, Republican Senators Pat Roberts and Jerry Moran introduced legislation to promote former Senator Bob Dole from Army captain to colonel. The 95-year-old joined the Army in 1942 while he was going to KU. He served in World War II, earning 2 Purple Hearts and the World War II Victory Medal, among other honors. And then Dole served in Congress and the U.S. Senate. In '96, the Republican nominee for president. The U.S. Senate did pass that legislation today. Kansas Representative Roger Marshall introduced a companion bill in the House.
Fooling these Earth voters is easier than expected.
Yes, all they want to hear are bland pleasantries embellished by an occasional saxophone solo or infant kiss.
Mr. President, sir, people are becoming a bit confused by the way you and your opponent are, well, constantly holding hands.
We are merely exchanging long protein strings. If you can think of a simpler way, I'd like to hear it.